All right, guys, here we are, last day before vacation. Thanks for tuning in. This video is not about my vacation, which I really need one. Looking forward to it. I missed you guys for the week I'm gone, but don't worry. I got some videos that are going to be uploaded while I'm gone, and I've got some videos for the week after I didn't make any content. It'll all be interesting things, like I fabricated the engine stand and a bunch of little things like that, some tool reviews and other things. So check those out while I'm gone, and don't forget, you can go to the main page. I have, I think, including shorts, I have like 1,700 videos on the main page. So there's always something to check out that you might not have seen. So take a look at those. Really appreciate that support. You guys leaving comments below and all, it really helps the algo. YouTube hasn't been helping me much, but you guys have been top notch. I really appreciate that. So, but let's get started with a day in the shop, get this place opened up, and do our best to learn a thing or two and have some fun. You know that's what we got to do, right? Life is short. You got to enjoy the ride. Oh, speaking of enjoying the ride, Nissan transmissions. That seems to be a real popular trend lately. I think we put transmissions in Nissans more than anything else lately. We'll put some clips right here, so you'll know what's going to happen in this video. I don't know yet. It's a Kia Niro, and we'll continue. 2011 Ford Ranger. Dodge Durango vibe to it. It's probably going to be a pretty slow day for me. I'll get odd jobs, maybe some brake jobs. I know some people aren't happy. They said I do too many brake jobs, which I didn't think 3 brake jobs a week was a lot. Some of these guys do 3 a day. But in any event, it's quick and easy, and I don't have to worry about my work being finished while I'm on vacation. So it'll be an odd day. We'll see. We're going to do our best, because that's what we do. We make it work. Got a beautiful sunrise. Trying to break through the clouds. We've had a couple of cloudy nights. It's about 72, 73 degrees. Probably going to be in the low 90s, I would assume, today. Depends on how overcast it stays. It'll be a little cooler if it stays overcast. So Bill's just about got this thing back together, and I got to finish the F150. I know that. Let's finish getting this place open up and get started. Stay tuned. Some of you might remember this 2018 Kia Niro. It's a little bit of a pigsty for a 4-year-old car, but you know, hey, not up to me. I'm not in charge of cleaning it. I put a thermostat in it because it was overheating. He says it's still doing it, but it's been 2 months. There's no codes. I just ran my scanner, the Phoenix Lite 2 from the Top Don Corporation, and there's no trouble codes in any modules in the entire vehicle. And I've had it running here for about 10 minutes. The little triangle means the door's open, that's all. But the temperature gauge isn't even up on the dash. I'm not sure what he's talking about with overheating. But I'm going to send a report to Katie. That's what it looks like in system list. If any module has a code, you guys know, they've been watching a while, it'll scroll those modules to the top with the codes. So if it's overheating, it would have a code. I'm not sure. We'll have to figure out what's going on. We'll get with Paul Harvey, and they wanted me to look at this real quick before I jump on the F150, try to finish that actuator installation. We're really close on that. I basically got to put the coil on, throttle body, a couple little hoses, and a once-over, and we're ready to fire it up and make sure that one's fixed. But we'll send this report and see where this one goes. I just wanted to keep you guys up to date. You know, we don't have any secrets between us, so let's put the mileage in. 77,441 miles. That's a lot for a Kia. I'm going to send this report and see what happens with this. If I can figure things out, I'll show you. Aha! I got an engine overheated warning. Well, that's no good. I'm going to pull up some data, pop the hood real quick. The air is blowing ice cold. Can't be overheating too much. This thing went to defrost. That's kind of odd. Maybe because it thinks it's overheating, and maybe because it is overheating. Let's bring up some data PIDs, look under the hood, and make sure nothing's physically going on out there. Maybe it's something electrical. Maybe it is overheating. Cooling fan 60.06. I turned the key to crank the engine because I had key on, engine off. I turned the key to simulate starting. So now we're going to see what the temperatures read. 223. Water temperature voltage 0.3. 223 is warm, but it's not overheating. Overheat protection active bank 1 off. Oil temperature 199. It's got the fan cranked up. Let's go see if the fan's blowing warm air. I wonder if this thing has a water pump intermittently. A lot of these have electric water pumps. And it's blowing warm air, but it's not hot. Uh-oh. Well, that's new. This one's percolating and that one's empty. Alright, we do definitely have an issue. Alright, got a splash of coolant in there. Didn't take much, not even a quart. So it might have maybe pushed a little coolant out, I'm not sure. I'm not seeing any leaks. It's under pressure again. So, did it have an air pocket possibly? Or does it have an intermittent leak like a water pump? This has an electric water pump. It'll run the pump without the engine on, and you'll feel hot air coming off the fan. Without the gas engine even running, the electric water pump is circulating coolant through the engine. So since I've added a little coolant, the temperature's come down. But I don't, how could you couldn't go 2 months if I left an air pocket in and it's my fault. How would it go almost 2 months? It is hybrid, so the gas engine doesn't run a whole lot, maybe 30, 40, 50% of the time, depending on how much you press the gas and how much you drive. Interesting. I'm gonna let it run a little bit, see if the temperature stabilizes. It was at 220 something. We'll see if that little bit of coolant maybe. So it's gonna take a little time. We'll play with it a little bit and we'll come back when something shows its ugly head, like a blind date kind of thing. We're gonna look and see if this thing has a little leak somewhere, which I'm thinking now I just missed an air pocket in this thing because the way it's acting. The problem is, to get the air out of this, I should have vacuum filled it. I don't remember what I did, but I might have vacuum filled it. I would think I would on a hybrid. Maybe I didn't. In any event, I'm assuming what had happened from memory is I vacuum filled it, ran it a few times. You got to hit the gas to get the gas engine to start, and or put it in service mode. And I might have not run it enough to verify the air pocket was gone, assuming that I vacuum filled it, wouldn't have to. So it might be my comeback. I take the blame when it's my blame to take. And I don't see, got a little bit of oil wetness in here, but not a drop of coolant anywhere. So, unless something rears its ugly head, I'll have to take the credit for that one. But he'll be happy. It won't cost him any more money. A little bit of inconvenience. Maybe I'll buy him a sandwich or something and let him punch me in the face. I've got it slightly overfilled now, just in case it's a little more of an air pocket. And since we Ubered him home, I'm going to, you see the motor's not running right now. I'm going to let it sit a while. The fan's still blowing because it's cooling off the hybrid system. So the fan's on, the water pump circulating coolant for the hybrid system. I'll go in there and hit the gas and make it run for a little while again. And we'll do it a few times, make sure this thing's good. You can also see, just on the odd chances there's an intermittent leak. Electric water pumps, probably not similar to mechanical water pumps as far as the intermittent leak thing goes, but we definitely don't want to have any overheating problems when we're done with this today. That's as simple as I can put it. That's the water control assembly back here, or coolant control assembly they call it. It houses a bunch of different components in it. I'm kind of sad, so procrastinating going to work on the F150. I want to babysit this a little while, but I have to get the F150 done today too. All right, we're going to start bolting this coil on, and this screw came out of the side of the manifold for the little bracket. And if I try to mash it back in there like that, it's going to end badly. So I got to at least clean these threads up a little bit. Got my rethreading kit out again. This one's broken. I was going to get it warranted when the Snap-on guy came in, but he doesn't come in anymore. We didn't buy enough stuff. They get kind of sad, you know. It's not what you bought over all the years you've been buying tools. It's what you bought the past few weeks. And if you go 2 or 3 weeks without buying anything, they don't come in anymore. And all of the money you spent is now doing you no good, because you got to send stuff into corporate. So I'll just do without that one. If I ever need another one of these, this is probably a couple $100 on the Snap-on truck. I'm not sure, but someone else makes it for them. It's probably like $49 on Amazon. So guess what? I'll get the next one. The buckles broke off after it was about 3 or 4 months old, and I asked him about it. He said the case isn't under warranty. Okay, so
Buckles have been broken on it forever. Enough about that. The bottom line is, this bolt is so messed up. Rather than spending my time trying to clean all these threads that I could hardly get the thread chaser on there, I'll just find another bolt. And we'll continue. Found me a beautiful replacement bolt. Someone had cut the notches in this so it would tap its own threads. So what I'm going to do is tap my own threads. Just clean it up a little bit. There's already threads in there, but that bolt has messed them up. Using a tap socket. I gotta put that clamp on before I forget too. I don't want to do that. No forgetting clamps. Bad YouTuber. The thread's are already there. That's why I'm not backing it off a lot. If I feel it start to bind, I'll back it off. That moves wood chips out of the way, and metal chips too. That should be plenty. That's not good. That hissing in the background is a really long duration brake flush. Got some electrical plugs in. Tighten some of these out. Uh-oh, that's 11. You know what? That must go somewhere else. That's weird. Why would it be 11? Eh, I like it there. That's where I'm putting it. The other bolt that's a stud like this has a 13 hex, and it's way too long, I think. My personal opinion is Ford don't know what they're doing anyway, so I can make adjustments where I see fit. Sorry, Ford guys, just messing around. That's just a bracket. Loom's got to go on the stud a bit. Now I got to bolt the coil itself down, throttle body, and we're just about good to go. Don't forget your ground. It's very important. Got a nice new gasket in there. No lock tab. I might put a little dab of silicone on there. Gotta tighten up my curl too. That's how the older folks in New York talk. Talked is like they say down here. Gotta bring the water to a boil. I think I gotta take my car to the shop so they can change my Earl. Every area has their own accent, I guess. Got a lot of family in Massachusetts, and they would always park the car in the yard. Where are you guys from? What's your accent specialty? Give me a word that sounds a little differently where you live compared to most areas. I had to go dig up a nut because I think last time they used a stud to hold it down, but that makes the bracket crooked. So the stud's supposed to be under on one side and over on the other. That's why the manifold has a higher boss here than it does here, right? But anyway, we fixed it. Let's see how my new threads work. Don't talk too much smack until you bolt stuff up. It worked out though, I got away with it that time. Throttle cable, all good. All I gotta do now, top the coolant up. It won't take much, you only spill a little bit, maybe a quart or so. And put this air snorkel in with one of those. We'll have a brand new 98 F150. Now, tricky part, getting whatever this thing is called hooked up. This is an actual cold air intake, I suppose.
That's a good thing. All right, might as well bust out the V-Diag tool and clear the codes. That's what I used on it to diagnose it. Might as well use it to clear the codes and verify the repair. I think after vacation, when I get back and we fire this up again, I think I'll be using that top-down Phoenix light mostly. But we'll see how this one goes for now. Try to get this done. All right, let's see what these intake manifold runner dealios do. I want to stay pretty close to together. They won't be perfect because it's a vacuum diaphragm. That's where that delay is. But remember the other day, the one was dropping out and jumping around. So looks good. Codes are cleared. Everything's peachy keen. You can take this thing for a drive. I'll take a look around too, make sure I didn't miss anything, which I already did it once, but I'll do it again. The PCV had pulled out of the valve cover, so I'm glad I looked at that already, fixed that. But everything else, I like to give a once over or even a twice over, just to make sure. I feel silly if someone comes back and says, you didn't tighten the clamp. So it's worth 2 minutes to do that. And we'll drive it, we'll park it, and we'll see what's next. I think they actually have a wheel alignment on a Ford Ranger. It's gonna be an all Ford Friday. Look at this cream puff, 2011 Ford Ranger body shop alignment. They must have already finished it, basically. This thing's pretty clean, smells nice. Considering the body shop just had it. Maybe they detailed it, or maybe somebody actually loves their vehicle like I do, and they take care of it. Ooh, high performance muffletors. Got a high performance stereo system. 160,797 miles. It is raining out. Got a gloomy day going on right now. They predict a 30% chance of rain. Oh, you got to go to 2 to get drive. Katie brought her Jeep in without the roof on it because they said, oh, only 30% chance of rain. Of course, it's been raining now for about 20-30 minutes. That's pretty funny. I think she's going to a Jeep event Saturday, so she has a lot of fun with that thing, man. It breaks down a lot, but it's fun in between. No, really, it breaks down a lot. We warned her, but she loves Jeeps, so she has a Jeep. She deals with it when it breaks down, that's all. Well, this machine boots up. Let's go ahead and get her airborne. I'm a little off to the left. That's all right. I won't fall off. We got room. Move the plates so the plates are centered on the tires. And we'll leave it nice and low because that's my height, nice and low. All right, I already gave this thing some heads, and 4 of them actually. Now we're going to go ahead and use high-tech stuff. Put the barcode in. Everything on Earth has a barcode now. Except my forehead. No barcode. Not yet, anyway. Maybe next year. 160,000 miles, I think it was, wasn't it? And Jimmy's what they call me to my face. And blue is the color, which you don't have to put the color in, but I like to. In case I get 2 2011 Rangers, I could say, oh, that was the blue one. As if the VIN doesn't do that for me. Ah, that's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm going to roll this one forward manually because I can. It's old school. It's going to have a lot of toe in, I can see up front. Not working. We'll lock the steering. We'll lock the brakes, and then we'll lock the steering after the caster sweep. Brakes locked. Just uses the seat to push on the brake pedal like as if I'm in there. Sometimes I do just, you guys that don't watch my videos a while, you know I just jump in there and do it myself sometimes. I kind of like to simulate the weight of a driver in a driver's seat, but that's counterproductive if someone always has a passenger, right? So the specifications for most vehicles are without weight in the driver's seat. Cars like Mercedes and BMW will tell you to install their custom special 150-pound weight bag in the driver's seat and get this wheel level. If there's any doubt, you can fire it up. Make sure it's in park.
I do have my brake pedal depressor on it though. That'll hold it, but that's the best way to make sure the wheel's straight, because the power steering will help you a lot. Now I'll put that lock on from the seat to the wheel. I think I just got to set the toe and let her go. Well, you see it shows minus 0.3 in the rear, which it's a solid diff in the back. It shows it's canted a little bit. The rear end's a little like this, toed out, toed in. But the camber is not, it's probably within the tolerance of that. So we got a little toe to set. The adjustment on these, usually you have to do a little modification, I think. You can, they have set shims that you have to replace with washers to allow for adjustments of the upper control arm. So there's going to be a charge to do that, which means I have to go ask them if they want to do it. You got to do some suspension disassembly, replace some of the hardware, then you can move the upper arm a little bit to change that camber. It's not out a ton. Let's see what it looks like on a graph. Show bar graphs. Look at that. Not out much. Maybe I'll set this toe. We'll re-sweep the caster and see if the camber changes that temp, and we can get it green, because it's not really, I mean, they probably charge them $250 for the hardware and the labor, so it could save them some money if we can just get it green. It's not out enough to cause severe tire wear. I would like to see matching camber. The caster's already correct to the left. The camber should be a little closer, but it's not where it's going to be a problem where he's going to shred tires or anything crazy like that. So we'll check up front, and worst case scenario, we just set the toe. Alright, set the toe and let her go, baby. I'll show you guys something else I spotted while I was looking around. This is going to go out probably a couple of turns. It's 0.55 towed in. That's a quarter turn, and a quarter turn. Now it's green. That's how much I moved it. Boink. Oh, come on, what are you doing? You're killing me, bro. I'm going to turn this a little bit more in because it moved a little. See the tire right on how much it rolls? Gracious goodness. Now I'll show you what we got for the end here. Alright, look at that. It turned green. That's good stuff. I love wheel alignments. We're done with this one. I got another one too. Alignment on a Prius. I don't think that's a 2016 Prius myself, but I do think it's got some issues. Driving it in the shop, it barely made it. I didn't film it because it's raining and his door wouldn't open, so I got soaked in wet. It's like a 2005 or 6. 2005. It's got 299,000 miles on it, and front end's got problems. They either put new parts on it or they bent something. So we'll lift it up and look at it before we assume we're going to align it. Oh yeah. New arms, sway bar links, new struts. Got new duct tape on the CV boots. Why wouldn't you put axles in it while you're doing all that other work? I don't know. They got to take it back apart to do the axles, but they had the subframe loose. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, let's hope they did everything correctly and align it. I mean, it's way out. They must have done tie rod ends too, yeah. So we're gonna have to align this before it'll let us align it, if that makes sense. When it's that far out, the machine kind of freaks out and says, hey man, you can't even align this until you align it. Let's get the heads on it, see how far it's out. It'll guide us a little bit. Drive this thing forward and compensate the heads, which I don't know if I showed that on the earlier alignment, but it lets the machine know where things are at as far as bent hubs, wheels, how straight the heads are, and it compensates for them. But it won't compensate for adjustments. Ooh, this thing is whacked out. 8 degrees of toe in. So I can't even go any further till I get those 2 bars on the screen there. I'll crop it in for you. Till I get them green, it won't even let me finish. Alright, that's a good workout, let me tell you. Now, hoping to make you dizzy. I'll probably edit that out, I don't want anyone to get nauseous. The steer head was centered, but the toe was 8 degrees. So I took 4 degrees out of the left side. When I take 4 degrees out of the right side, it should put the steer head back, right? That's my alignment theory. He must have been inner tie rods too, because man, it's tight. That's why he only went in like 4 threads and stopped. Guys, if you're gonna do front end work on your car, it's good that he brought it in for alignment. Some people won't even do that, but his tires are basically already bald, so that's why he brought it in, I'm guessing. I'll show you in a second. The inside of the tire is like mediumly worn. It's average about 530 seconds, 630 seconds, and the outside is almost showing cords. So he's been driving a little while, and he finally realized he had to get it aligned. But the problem is, if he would have used a tape measure and just got it close, he might have got away with it, because it'd only be off a degree or so instead of 8 degrees. I'm not going to say you can do an alignment with shoestring and wire and fence posts and stuff, but you can get it close enough to bring it to an alignment shop. That way you get the best alignment you can, and you're close when you get there. At least it wouldn't have destroyed his tires, you know what I'm saying? And it is coming down out there. I hope it's not too noisy in the background. I know you guys love the sound of my voice, but, well, most of them. And I am cranking and cranking and cranking. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. I have to go back to the other side a little bit. I'm going to snug the jam nut up on this side, go to the other side, get it green, we'll come back. Alright. Restart procedure. I got to back it up, get the targets happy, and then drive it forward again. Uh-oh. I didn't do that yet because we didn't get past it. I got to climb out and in again. Check engine lights on. $299,999. On his way home, he's going to go over 300,000. Super clean car inside, by the way. The outside don't look so pretty, but the inside's like a 9. Sweet. It's got custom seat covers and everything. Fit pretty well. Let me enter that information. We'll do the cash or sweep.
About the only thing they listen to was I got them to let us wear shorts. But those guys live in Chicago, they don't need shorts even in the sun. But they live in Oklahoma and Texas, we had to have shorts. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And then
we got a lot of work to do. That's what I'm guessing. Well, there's nothing we can do about this without shims. The toe, somehow we got way negative. What are you gonna do? I was trying to get that top bar green. I didn't realize till after I had to recompensate that it was so far out, it wouldn't even get that measurement close enough to let you, because normally if it's just out 3 or 4 degrees, it'll let you get that measurement green, and then when you finalize your alignment, it'll usually be right. So anyway, I'm gonna adjust the toe a little bit better, and I'll ask him about that. I think we're just doing front toe because the customer did all his own work. So let me set the front toe, then I'll ask him about that, and then we'll come back. We'll see what happened. I keep messing with the toe and it's like moving a little bit. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So then I'm looking up here and show you guys something. Does that show up? He didn't tighten it enough, and which makes me wonder if he tightened any of the bolts enough. There's no cotter pin in the lower ball joint, so let me go let them know up front. I've got the alignment pretty close, but to really get it right, we got to tighten everything he installed. He may want to do that himself. I know I'm not doing it for free. He's probably one of the guys going on my YouTube channel saying I rip people off. He's smarter. I'm sorry, I apologize. I shouldn't complain about that stuff, but it gets under my skin when people that, you know, they talk the most smack, they're doing this kind of work on their own car and they think they're mechanics. But anyway, let's see if we can rectify this thing, what he wants to do. Rob said tighten all that stuff up for him. He's got to fix it. I'm gonna pull the cotter pin out and get this buttoned up. Oh my goodness gracious, it's not even close. We talked to the customer. He said, oh, go ahead. I wasn't sure if he did a good job. It was a mobile mechanic. Facebook Marketplace mobile mechanic. I'm like, oh, you save a bunch of money. I mean, you might die, but you save money. Yeah, that's good. The problem is there's a lot of good mobile mechanics too. I don't like to just chastise all mechanics and lump them all into one category. It's the individual that did this work shouldn't be doing it and going around charging people to repair their cars, because it's in over his head. Obviously, this is the simplest thing, tightening bolts. I mean, it's just frustrating. Someone could get hurt, and this guy's just trying to make $100 bucks. You know? Anyway, this thing is, I just tightened out about 6 turns. So whatever kid did this work, just put them on by hand and put a cotter pin in it. I'm going to check all the ball joints. These all look like they impacted them, but I'm going to check ball joints and tie rod ends, and I'm going to try turning this with this loose well. I did turn it and it didn't move, so I think the inner tie rods are good. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how that's possible. Did I mention that I'm going on vacation after today? Okay, good, good. Once I get that cotter pin hole lined up, we're golden. Now keep in mind the weight's not on this. The weight's on the knuckle and the tire. The arm is being pulled up into the knuckle, so if you, I don't want anyone concerned that I'm not unloading it before I do it. I do need an 18 instead of a 19. I wish one of you would have pointed that out. 18 doesn't fit. 19's loose. That's not right. I think that they may have done some nut work here, and yeah, maybe I did. I don't know. It's got chisel marks here. He's tightening with a chisel, I guess. Not really sure what's going on there. But he also put the cotter pin facing the other way, which is kind of odd when you have to get it back out. You see he chewed the nut up using the wrong size wrench, it looks like. I'm going to fumble with this a little while, and then we'll see what the alignment looks like. You guys get the idea. Got them all snugged up. It was about the same looseness on each side, so at least he's consistent. It's like literally 4 to 6 turns of the nut. Like I kept going with the wrench, just going. But that's where the alignment's at. Based on how the breeze blows, the caster variation's a little high. You see it brought the toe back in a tiny bit, but it's still green, so I'm done. I am done with this alignment. We're golden. So I'm just going to verify the wheel's straight. We know it's all safe, everything's tight. And we'll see if there's something else to do today. It's getting to lunchtime now. We got a lot done already so far. This is one of the better looking Jeeps to me. I think this is really a Dodge Durango. I'm not 100% sure, but it's got a Dodge Durango vibe to it. They said the AC works good out of one side and not so good out of the other. Tells me it's low on refrigerant. Oof, they got glaucoma. That's okay, you know. Some people got eye issues. They're doing what they gotta do to take care of them. I don't know how many mileages this has on it. Grand Cherokee. Uh-oh. Can't see the mileages. Sorry. Oh, 118,789 miles. It's definitely nice and cold on the right side and just cool on the left. We'll throw the machine on it. Give a love rating of 5. I'm leaning towards 6, but my eyes are dilating, so 5. I'm gonna leave it run and hook the machine up, see what the pressures look like. I write the key tags on here, the mileage on the key tag for the front desk, and we'll take a look at the pressures. Well, there's been a slight change of plans. This has the 1234 YF refrigerant, and it's pretty expensive, so I can't just go around putting Freon in it and stuff. So now I'm in search mode. I got my little black light out and got my very stylish dye light glasses on. We're gonna go look around for some dye. There's definitely dye in the system. It's in that valve, I can see it. I'm gonna look around and see if I can spot some dye. I don't see anything obvious. This hose has a little bit of a trace there. I don't know if that shows up on camera there, but maybe if I give you the light glasses you can see. You tell me what you think. If you can see that. Just the slightest little bit. Let's see if I can find something worse than that. See if I can find the AC drain and maybe look from underneath on the drive-on rack. See if I could spot some dye. Got to come out somewhere. This thing's corroded pretty bad, like it's from up north. Look at that crank pulley, that poor thing. Hose clamps ready to give up the ghost. Alright, I'm going to drive it over to a different rack before I try hooking the machine up to it. And I think they're advising the customer about how the prices change from 1234 YF to 134A and stuff. It's lowering the suspension. Cool. That's where the condensate fluids, the moisture that it pulls out of your car's interior, drips out of that drain hose as it dehumidifies and cools your interior air. I'm not seeing any traces of dye in it. Can't really find the AC drain. I can see a couple small leaks. You can see that it's all Chrysler stuff in here. Man, it's got some rust and corrosion. That's terrible news. Might have to pull some things down to get a better look in here. Uh-oh. I'm going to lower it down a little bit so I can look at the condenser a little better. Well, I can see where the radiator's leaking a little bit. If that shows up on camera. But that's not good. You shouldn't be seeing that pink stuff on there, but I don't see any dye. Looking with and without the glasses, and just using my flashlight for dampness from oil. It'll always leave a little film of oil around it. It's the only problem I can find is some coolant loss. It's probably got an evaporator leak, and we're gonna have to do a little more digging, I think. All right, we're back in the regular lift. I am not seeing any dye anywhere. Very odd. Could be, I haven't looked under the compressor with a mirror and my dye light and stuff. I'm not seeing anything. So just in case it's not even low on refrigerant and it's really an actuator door in the dash or something, we're gonna run it with the machine on it. You don't have to go through all the time-consuming processes if you're not exchanging refrigerant and you just want to look at pressures. It'll do that automatically. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and see what the pressures do. Aha! The fan should be kicking on any second. And it might lower both sides down, because right now the pressure on the low side looks good. That's a little high. My fan's running. If the low side starts coming down with the fan running, then I know it's low on refrigerant. But if it stays there, we may very well have an actuator problem where one side is not working like it should. That is interesting. If that's the case, we'll be getting scan tools out and looking at scan data. Both sides are on 62. Now what I'm going to do is get a scan tool. I will check what it thinks the AC pressures are and what it thinks we're requesting for temperatures. And then I want to see what the evaporator temperature sensor says it's at. If it has a dual air, which it does, it might have an upper and lower evap temp sensor. I'm not sure. It's kind of strange to be cold on one side, not the other. It's usually indicative of low refrigerant because the evaporator flows refrigerant sideways. So when it gets low on refrigerant, the bottom half tends to stay cold, and if that side comes out on the right, it'll be colder. That's what it feels like, but pressures still look good. 210, 220 over 40. Let's grab the scanner real quick, take a look at some data. Made in China. I had to take that out of there to hook up my scanner. It's probably one of those insurance dongles where they can track what you're doing. Auto scan. Get the Phoenix Light 2 and this here Jeep Grand Cherokee, shaking hands. And oh, they circled the problem too. They're like, you know what? Ford's not the only one that knows how to circle what's going on. Alright, let me go ahead and get this done. We'll do a full report, send a report to the front desk. You know the deal if you've been on the channel a while, you've been watching for a while. That's what we're going to do right now. Oh, she has got some codes. Consider that email sent. Open now. This is basically like a European-based Jeep. So, we got a lot of codes. I mean, it happens sometimes in domestics too. I'm mostly busting chops, but not with the regularity that I see with vehicles that are based on European design and software. So I notice a lot more sensitivity when it comes to battery voltage and things like that. In some cases you can look at it as being actually more thorough too, because every module sees a problem with one and they all let you know, hey, we're all upset with the ABS or whatever the case may be. TPMS has the most codes, which then I hear about that. Then I hear about the power lift gate. I don't see any other lights on. No check engine lights or anything. That's good. So let's bring up the HVAC data. We'll see if there's any HVAC codes. Actually, I don't see any. No fault, no fault. Excuse me. Heating, ventilating, and air conditioning, cooling. No fault. That's interesting. So I've sent the report. I could go back here, I can clear DTCs. We can see if anything changes doing that. It may say turn engine off, key on. Turn the engine off, leave the key in the on position. Push it twice. Okay. Now it's going to clear our codes. There was no HVAC codes, that's our main concern. So I'm doing the rest of these codes just in case, you know, there might be a problem caused by other modules that are mad. Last thing we want is anybody mad, because it's like vacation time and everything around here. We should be real relaxed about the whole deal. Data stream. I want to see cabin temperature, evaporator sensor, floor duct left temperature sensor, floor duct right. Anything left and right I want to see. Floor duct left temperature sensor twice. Let's look at it just in case. I'll go through and pick a bunch of data PIDs related to what I think the problems might be, and any temperature sensor, whether it's in a duct or an evaporator, or even outside in the AC pipes and stuff outside, that can cause problems too. So I want to see anything temperature related, because if it thinks something's at a different temperature, it's not going to be working correctly, right? Cabin temperature 89, evap sensor 60 and dropping, 59. Floor duct left temperature sensor dashes. Right temperature sensor, left temperature sensor in the panel duct, that's the floor. Actuator position right, that's flickering on and off for some reason. I can't find the left temperature actuator desired and target. That little fluctuation is probably nothing to be concerned about. Its target is 0 and the actual is just fluctuating because the sensor is just probably sitting there glitching at 0. Concerned about this, definitely. Main left temperature actuator target position. It's under M for left. Okay, maybe that'll show me some stuff. The evaporator's down to 44. Main left selected, 62, 62. Cool, that could have a bad actuator in the left temperature. But there's no codes, which is very unusual. Normally, if you request 62, if it's learned all the actuator positions, it's going to go, hey, I'm trying to move this door and it won't work, and it'll set a code for it. But it hasn't done that. Here's something else we can do. Special function. We can do a door test, which I know you can in General Motors and a lot of other vehicles too. So let's go 40. See if I feel a temperature change out of that duct. Let's go 100. See if I can feel a change. A lot of times, like on a General Motors, you would pull the HVAC fuse, wait a minute, put it back in, and it'll automatically do a relearn, calibrate all the doors, move them all around, and you'll hear the direction of the air change. It doesn't move right now when I tell it to, so that's a bad look. What do you think? When I'm going on vacation, they should have stuff easy to find, and I should be able to knock it out really quick. Actuation test. You know what? Let me do system test. I think I tried individual actuation tests already. HVAC cool down test. Aha! Actuator calibration test. May change the state. Exercise caution. Moves all HVAC doors to their full travel limits to determine the travel span of each. Test in progress. Please wait. Now it's going to do like the GMs do, and you'll hear the door. You can hear the air change to defrost. It's going to run through all of those different positions, and it's going to tell me the sweep from closed to open. And then I can see if that left temperature actuator has a different number than the right. Say the right side shows me a difference from 0 to 85 degrees, and the left one 0 to 10 degrees, or 0 and it never moves. It should set a code too, right? But it doesn't. Another reason for concern. That's what makes it a little more difficult to sort out, right? False. Actuator mode panel 1 calibration passed, false. Left temp calibration passed, flag, false. Very interesting. All right, I'm gonna have to go inside, and I'm going to have to see what they recommend. They're probably gonna say, just take the dash out and test the actuator, and that's not realistic. This is doing a similar test, and we'll let this run, and then I'll come back and see if it changed the state of the left side. What happens is if the mode door changes to defrost, floor, and dash, it's going to do both sides. But if the temperature doors are going to be separate because it has separate temperature controls, so it's looking to me like this left temperature actuator is bad. I'm just trying to help figure it out and show you guys how I did it. But, you know, that's not nice. Violence is never the answer. Let me let this test run. I'll go inside and we'll look up where that actuator is, how to get to it. Maybe it's easy to try. Maybe I can get to it and tap on it, things like that. I was really hoping to find desired and actual data for left temperature sensor, but it doesn't seem like I'm ever gonna. And I've been hunting and pecking around for 10 minutes now. Failed. DTCs were set. That's what I want to see. Very possible somebody has cleared the codes, and that's why it came in with no codes, right? Read fault codes. Cool down test performance, so it failed. So it should have a left temperature actuator failed code. Very, very disheartening. I'm going on vacation, you son of a gun. See, that was easy. I told the customer we need a little more time to get to that actuator and check the door and make sure it's not broken. And it's a little time consuming. It'll be part of the repair if we do the repair. Oh, I just wanted you to put a little Freon in it. Oh, that's not what it needs. Okay, pull it around. That was easy. Wish I'd have done that 45 minutes ago. It looks like they're gonna be making money mounting tires when I'm gone. There's tires everywhere around this joint. All right, guys, we are getting ready to button this thing up. There's not much more work coming in, especially for me, since I'm gonna be on vacation next week. I'm really looking forward to it. I appreciate your patience while I'm gone. Battery recharge required. Highly recommended if you don't take a vacation. And don't forget, you can check out my main page for tons of videos if you're interested in seeing some content while I'm gone. I'll have some videos up, but the 1700 more that you can check out if you haven't seen them all. You've seen them all? That's amazing if you have, thank you. But be sure to torque the like button before you leave, and subscribe if you haven't yet if you're new here. And we're going to keep the videos rolling. We'll be right back at it in a week with day in the shop videos again like usual. I look forward to seeing you then, because you're awesome.